Hey, it's Nico from Tokyo again. I haven't made a video in a long time, and I figured, I'm leaving Japan soon, so I have all these ideas and, things that I've learned in my head, and I really feel like I should make some final videos before I leave. I'm going to start off these final videos with a video on manners in Japan. So I've collected a list of about 10 mannerisms that I believe are important for people to know when they come to visit Japan. And if I can think of any more, I'll make another video. Number one of the things about the Japanese is they walk on the left-hand side. In America, we walk on the right-hand side because we drive on the right-hand side, so it's pretty much the same logic. So if you're walking out on the street in Japan, sometimes they may see a foreigner coming, so they'll think that they should go on the right. It's definitely not a strict rule. However, as a basic guidance, walk on the left-hand side. It's always a safe go-to in Japan. Second is about leaving your chopsticks in the bowl. So while you're eating, try to not leave your chopsticks in the bowl. It's always seen as kind of a slightly rude gesture. A lot of people know before going to Japan that you're definitely not supposed to leave chopsticks in the rice because that can resemble incense at a funeral, and a lot of Japanese consider it a bad omen. But just in general, always place your chopsticks beside the bowl. Third is probably one of the most prominent manners in Japan that's, different for Westerners, is the whole bowing. So once you live in Japan, you can never go back, I suppose, to, a life without bowing, because it's just, here, it's a constant reassurance of mutual respect between people, and it's just something that feels, it ignites a really special feeling, I think. I guess that's why I connect to it. You should expect to probably bow very often. You bow at the supermarkets, you bow every time you're saying thank you, even when you're just walking on the street and you see a security guard, sometimes you look at them and bow and they'll bow back. Just more of a head nod. A lot of times if somebody does a great favor for you, then you really bow. It's general knowledge that the more you bow, the more respect you're giving. It's definitely a fun, interesting way to interact with Japanese culture. Next is always say thank you. So in Japanese, the safest way to say thank you, because there are several different ways, is arigatou gozaimasu. And you can expect to say arigatou gozaimasu after so many different things. When you buy something at the grocery store, you can say arigatou gozaimasu. If somebody helps you out at the metro station, arigatou gozaimasu. When they bring you food at a restaurant, arigatou gozaimasu. It's such a catchy thing that, when you head back to America, sometimes you have to resist the urge to say arigatou gozaimasu and bow. But it's a pretty common thing that the Japanese do. They always say thank you. And number 5 is apologizing. In addition to always thanking people, a lot of Japanese tend to apologize a lot. It's in the language, it's part of the culture, and to apologize, the safest way is to say sumimasen, which means excuse me. And you can use it in many different instances. If you're out on the street and you bump into somebody, oh, excuse me, or sumimasen. To get somebody's attention, you can also say, oh, sorry, or excuse me, by saying sumimasen. And even when you're in a restaurant, so one of the things that's shocking for foreigners is waiters don't come to check on you. Waiters and waitresses don't come to check on you. So you have to actually flag them down by saying sumimasen really loud, and even if other people can hear you, and even if it distracts from other people's meals. It's just seen as a normal custom here. Another way to say you're sorry is if you're going to the doctor's office, for example, or if you're going to a teacher's office, you always start with shitsurei shimasu. And shitsurei shimasu is Japanese for literally sorry for bothering you. And it's a great, polite way to show respect for somebody, and as a way of saying sorry for bothering you or something like that. Number 6 is being quiet on the train, and this is something that foreigners usually don't understand very well, including myself and my friends. When we get on a train, we start talking, especially if you're going out clubbing or going to a bar, if you're going to hang out late at night, and everyone's talking really loud. But the custom on the train in Japan is to be quiet and be respectful that some people are coming back from work and they may have had a long day. So whenever you're on the train, if you're going to speak relatively softly or quietly, just keeping in mind the culture of the people around you. Number 7 is an interesting rule in Japan. So in America, a lot of the custom culture is ladies first and always holding the door open for women. And you know, if you're on the bus, get up if there's a lady waiting. It's a lot of people view that in America as, you know, as a very polite thing to do. In Japan, it doesn't necessarily have that connotation, but so a lot of women won't require of you or expect of you, you know, to hold the door open for them. However, it is commonly, you know, respected here to, you know, offer your seat to older people, and people who are disabled and people who are pregnant, similar to the United States. Then number 8 is sort your trash. So one of the things you'll find living in Japan or just out in Japan is it's expected of you to sort your recyclables into several different categories, whether or not that's, you know, bottles or burnable, non-burnable. So always be aware of which trash can you're throwing it into, because the Japanese are very into that idea of conserving. Next, number 9, when you are visiting shrines such as Asakusa or the shrine at the Meiji Jingu Shrine in Yoyogi, it's seen as very impolite to take pictures of the relics themselves or of the people praying. So just be very cautious when you're taking photographs that you're not taking photographs of the actual relics. The shrines are definitely okay to take photographs. However, just the places where people are throwing money, it's considered kind of rude. And number 10 is when you are going to present a paper to somebody, or often a credit card, or whenever you're presenting something to somebody, always use both hands. And for example, if it's a teacher and you have an assignment or something here, you present it facing them so that they can read it, see? Hold with 2 hands and present like this. So those are 10 basic manners to keep in mind when you're visiting Japan, and if I think of anything else, I'll post another video explaining them. And yeah, feel free to check out my other videos about living in Japan and essentially my experience here. Thank you very much. Arigatou gozaimasu.